Good day, listeners from around the world. This is James Jordan and alongside Michael Wallace.
Hello.
I thought you wanted to have this like big intro.
I don't know. You know what? Ever since, as long as I can remember, I've always been that. I've never been good at saying good morning, and I'm awkward at saying goodbye, and
yeah, me too.
I'm just awkward in general.
Yeah, so we got him here, folks.
Yeah, good thing.
Michael Wallace,
speaking.
Not of the famous racing family, but if you think he is, go for it.
But much asked on iRacing.
Yeah, much asked as well.
Yeah.
I've seen people think that I got Michael Wallace on my show every week. It's like, oh no.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Nah. So we're here with another edition of the Wide World of Motorsports podcast, recording for the week of September 26th, 2021. You could be listening to us on your preferred streaming service, the Wide World of Motorsports podcast, on the air on 102.7 FM. We're also on YouTube and Facebook Watch. So just say, hey, YouTube, or I think you can just say, hey, Siri, Alexa, pull up the Wide World of Motorsports TV on whatever smart device you got. And yeah, or at the WWMS on social media, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Or sorry, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I already plugged YouTube, stupid.
Plug it again.
Damn it, go to the YouTube, people. Oh, going back to the YouTube, Wide World of Motorsports esports team is there. All our iRacing shenanigans. You can hear Wallace freak out at people every week on that stream. What's going on? Why are you going low?
You missed a great race tonight.
I probably did, but
no, you did. It was really good. We had a lot of fun.
We're with the Mayhem Racing League. Check them out. Might as well plug them since we got our own little series coming up in that league.
Yeah.
So if you're on iRacing,
broadcasting the mod series.
Yep.
Our modified series coming up. It's going to be broadcasted. So
this weekend we're at Delaware Speedway, and we're for sure going to talk about that on the show. Yeah, well, yeah. I wish it's too bad, Wallace. You did miss out on some good racing all 3 days this weekend.
I got to watch it.
You did though, and that's good. There's multiple places it was streamed online, and they all did a fantastic job this past weekend. Whether it would have been TSN or G-Force or I think even Rogers frickin' covers one of the series. It's like, wow, they all did a great job. And also seeing some media folk there and some fans and the drivers. Great to see everybody. Yeah, it was awesome stuff. And nice to see some faces again that I haven't seen in a while. There was I was talking with another podcaster of Stickers and Scuffs, Cam Harris, and there's this photographer guy that we've seen on like a million streams over the years. He has like white curly hair, and we think his name is Derek. I've never nodded or said hi to him in years. And I watched like the frickin' Snowball Derby, and this guy's down there. This guy gets like everywhere to the races.
Really?
You should recognize him. Like he's an older fella, and he's got this long gray hair. Like he's cool. He's taking pictures at every track, and I nodded to him like I haven't seen this guy in a couple of years. I'm like, it's like I was saying to Cam, like good to see him on this side of the COVID. So it was good to see a lot of people. That sounds terrible, but it's true because it's great to see everybody on.
Yeah.
After all this stuff. So it's
I get what you're saying.
And just seeing drivers come and talk to us and whatever else it was good. It was a good time, and Delaware, man. They put on a great show. They have. Other than I think that if maybe there's a way they can get some LEDs, great, and obviously there's parts of the track there might hopefully fix up. It was already good enough, as we saw on the broadcast this weekend. But other than a couple of things that they got to do, man, I think I feel really good about, and they have a great investment, and they have good owners, and I think Delaware is going to be another force to be reckoned with again. It's going to be back from its glory days. So good
awesome.
It's good to see that place. It was packed. So it was, and just being at a racetrack again is nice. And the Pinty series as well, with the season
I missed?
What?
I really miss the smell.
Oh, dude.
I really, really miss the smell.
My
of the
voice is
racetrack.
hoarse because of all the fumes.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
There's that smell of fuel and tires and brakes and the hot asphalt, and that is one thing I really
and there was some other smells too going around there that I didn't mind either. It was a nice mix of smells this past weekend. But yeah, and that's the thing too, is nice, and my ears hurting when I was taking a picture. The pictures, I was standing right up to the fence, and these things go my eardrum clearly saying, hey, this is not good.
This is loud.
I probably should have worn protective stuffs, but whatever. It was good. The feeling, and a lot of people, I'm sure, in the grandstands felt that way. The feeling of just being back. Everyone was having a good time, and there was a lot of stuff that happened. We're gonna cover most of what's happened in the NASCAR Pinty series so far on this episode, and maybe we'll get to some other stuff at the end on the. I think that's what's on the slate, right, Wallace? The slate?
Yeah, well.
On the platter?
The schedule.
And the platter. But it was...
And APC. We're going to talk a little bit about APC because they had their season finale this past weekend, too, at Delaware. So
with the NASCAR Pinty series for our coverage, starting it all off with Friday nights... Awesome. I thought that was a pretty good way to start it off. I thought it was an awesome race, and
it was great. It was a fantastic race.
We had, this is the series first race back Friday night since 2017. Before that,
wow,
the series ran there.
You know what? I'm kind of shocked by that because it was such a fantastic racetrack.
Well, it ran there from 2009 to 2013, and the series started in 2007. So it did have a few years there, but and with at one point, it just didn't. I guess they just for some reason couldn't make it there or whatever. It just didn't work out. But it was no doubt one of the most anticipated returns on the schedule. Alex LeBay, he was the winner there last in 2017, and that helped him claim the championship that season. One of the races at Delaware this weekend, looking in at the championship standings at that point, the question was, could the race at Delaware once again help decide the champion? Now, back in the day, it was earlier on in the season, but it was the final. It was the end of the season. So the weather was of question on Friday, of course, with any NASCAR Pinty Series race. It did clear up, and it was nice by practice time. Some areas in southwestern Ontario saw record rainfall this past week, and the weather forecast did show potential precipitation throughout the weekend. So that was obviously something looming.
It poured rain here where I am at, so I was quite impressed with the fact that they got the racing in.
Yeah, they're going into the track. I did see some areas closer to the track, not so much throughout on the highway, but going on some of those back roads. There was a lot of flooding. It almost reminded me of when I was in the, where's that in North Carolina on the coast there, when it's It's all like murky water and stuff like that. The upper
Myrtle Beach?
No,
I don't know.
Oh, sorry, the Outer Banks is what I'm thinking of. The outer. It was like
Yep.
It threw me.
Didn't know the Outer Banks.
It threw me back to that when I went. It was like, wow, this place like looks like it. But I guess like it was all muddy too, and some people's cars were stuck. But there was lots of vehicles on site that was able to take care of, I'm sure, a stuck vehicle. Because I saw some augers and other heavy machinery driving around a few times, I think, trying to get people out. So, actually, the Wamsmobile...
Going to the racetrack?
The parking. The Wamsmobile actually almost got stuck.
Really?
I stepped out, and I flooded my shoes in the parking lot. Yeah.
Not a fun way to
start. And I said, pay, I don't think this is going to work. So we had to go park further up the road. But yeah.
Wow.
And then, yeah, so, that was something going into the race weekend. And going to this race, Tags, he was on top of the championship standings at 288 points, with LP down by 11, Ranger down by 36 points, and DJ and Trayton tied at 43, down by 43 apiece. The number 74 and Alex Gwinnett are tied at down by 44 points for fifth spot. So
hey, Jordan.
What's up
Who
there,
drives
Wallace?
The number 74? I can't remember his name.
My favorite driver, Kevin Lacroix. I love him.
Kevin Lacroix.
He did so good this weekend.
He did. In race 3, we'll talk about it in a little bit. He did a tremendous job.
We'll get to that.
I was quite impressed with him.
He was so he and Gwinnett, they were tied for down by 44 points for fifth spot. So there was a couple of guys racing for some positions here on the championship standings, and most of the top drivers have had a win each, with the exception of Gwinnett. Ranger is looking to go back to back for race number 1. The final races added on by NASCAR at Delaware, obviously because of some of issues of them getting to Chaudière,
which is unfortunate. I was kind of looking forward to that,
but it turned out to be worth it in my opinion. But in the first practice at Delaware in many years for NASCAR, DJ Kennington, he was at the top of the scoring pylon. DJ, he's had some practice here throughout the season with the late models, as well as Cole Powell, Brandon Watson, and Trey. Shea Gemmel rounds off the Fast Five going into qualifying, as well as some other interesting news with J.R. Fitzpatrick filling in for Mark Dilley as a last-minute sub, and that was big news. Not Mr. Sub, not a super assorted folks. The field in qualifying was set as Larry Jackson, LP Dumoulin, Pete Shepard, Brendan Watson, Andrew Ranger, Kevin Lacroix, J.R. Fitzpatrick, Cole Powell, DJ, and pole sitter Trayton Lapsevich. Tags with an 18th position. With how he was going with the championship standings lead, not looking the best. He had some driving to do ahead of him, and he certainly did. LP and Ranger and DJ, they also had some work to do in the top 10. And there's a couple of wrecks throughout that race that happened. It wasn't too bad compared to the other two races. It was basically, seemed like it was just down to Trayton and DJ during this race. There's also a point too where Tags ended up getting lapped. He wasn't running very good. It didn't seem like his car was handling very good. There's a point where he went down pit road and he had his car jacked up. They're looking on the right side on the back of his car. So it already looked like he had issues then, and then his championship implications already in play for Tags early on into the race. It was like 75 laps in the race already. Lap car number 19, Brandon Watson. He spun mid-turn in 1 and 2, causing a domino effect on the leaders. Number 19 and 7, Pete Shepard and Brandon Watson.
The third.
Pete Shepard the third. And Brandon Watson the third. A yellow on lap 115 due to number 2 of TJ Renomato. He got sideways in turn 2. That gave Tag a free pass. And on the restart, Trey and DJ and Ranger were racing in the top 3. And LP, he was losing some ground on that restart. He was able to stay up. And DJ applied some pressure in the final laps to the number 20. He was able to get him to open his door and pass him for the win. There may have been some help, there may not have been. Trey got out of his car on the front stretch and looked a little upset. An official tried to encourage him not to bother, but Trey approached DJ after the race and expressed his displeasure. He said, hey, you know what? I don't like what you did.
I don't like what you done to me.
Yeah. The manner.
Good for him, though.
Yeah. That was cool, though. It's like, hey, you know what?
He should. He needs to. He's he just because he's a rookie and he's quite young. How old's Trayton?
I think he's 17.
It doesn't mean that a veteran can just push him around. I didn't really like the move, but maybe that's because I wouldn't make that move. There's plenty of drivers that would have done the same thing, and I don't see anything wrong with a move like that. Like, what do you think? Bump and run, is that a classic move?
Tough call, Wallace. First, let's play our interviews with him, and then I'll give you my point of view from that. We got to speak to both of them post-race. Here's our chat with Trayton Lapcevich and DJ Kennington.
All right, I'm here with DJ Kennington at Delaware Speedway, and hey, you had a good night tonight. You were able to start on the front row in qualifying. You had fastest in practice. Talk to us a little about most of the race up until the end there.
We had a good car at the start. I mean, the car was good all day, actually. And I just lost a little forward drive in the car later in the race there when Trayton got by us. And I kind of saw what he was doing and changed my line a little bit to get a little bit better drive off, and it really helped. And the last couple laps there, he kept driving in the mirror, and I could see him making mistakes. And I was lucky enough to get inside him going into 3 there, and obviously there was a little bit of contact, and we got through with the win. But like I say, we'll take it and run with it. But for our sponsors and Castrol and Spark Power and so on, it was a really good night with us.
After the race, Trayton was a little upset. He came up to talk to you a little bit. What were some of the things that were said?
It's just between us. I mean, he was upset. Called me some bad names, and I don't blame him. I mean, it's a frustrating deal. We all want to win, and he's got many wins coming, I'll tell you that. That's one talented little kid.
Right. Was there anything brought up about his brother at all?
No. I mentioned that there's a difference. I mean, I moved him. I didn't wreck him. So that's the difference between me and his brother. His brother and I have had our differences, but that's nothing to do with him. He's a hell of a little driver, and he's the full package, that kid.
Boy, we're about to get squashed here.
We're all right.
We're good. So now that you won the race, you guys are going to have a little bit of a celebration tonight.
No, going to get my butt home, get to bed, and we'll get unloaded at 6:30 tomorrow morning and start
to the grind.
Start getting cars ready to go for Sunday.
So for Sunday, what are some of the things you guys got to do?
We'll have to do wheel bearings, probably brake rotors, pads, a couple setup changes, hopefully. I think we can make it a little bit better yet now, and
even more better.
Get some fresh Castrol Edge in there and some Castrol Syntec in the gear and get ready for Sunday.
For sure. That sounds good. All the best of luck to you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm here with Trayton Lapcevich, and he had a good run today here at Delaware, but a little bit of an issue at the end of the race. Hey, you had a good qualifying position. You ran good during the race. You're able to stay up front during the restarts. Walk us through a little bit of most of the race before the end.
At the start of the race there was some speedy dry down on the inside lane, and that's how DJ got by me. After that, we had that long green flag run. I was kind of just riding, to be honest with you. We had that caution, and I was able to take advantage of it, push a little harder than I had been, got by DJ clean, and he drove through me at the end there, and he said it was because of Caden. So I'm not Caden. The last time I checked, I'm Trayton. I raced him clean, and to do what he did, I guess he just forgot we got 2 more races on Sunday. So, and I'm here to stay. I'm it's my first season, but I think I got a lot more in me.
So from your perspective, what happened on the last couple of laps there?
He was close to me. He was probably 3-4 car lengths back, and I just had no chance, really. He was stalking me there, waiting for me. Going into turn 3, he just got me. I couldn't keep it under me. He aimed right for my left rear, and that's not a clean bump and run going for the left rear like that. Just no chance. I was thinking that maybe if I ran outside, he wouldn't have been able to get me, but I think he was getting me one way or another, and it definitely showed.
you ended up parking the car up on the front stretch there. You didn't look too happy, and then eventually you ended up having a couple words with him. Anything is said there?
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have some words together and maybe understand it a little bit more, but it just ended in more frustration for myself because of what he said. And, he said it was because Caden, basically kicking his butt for all those years, and I don't think what Caden's done should carry over to what I've done, especially with how clean I've raced DJ all year. And that pass I made on the front stretch was about as clean as it gets. I mean, I didn't even touch him at all. Right. So I guess we'll see what happens Sunday.
Yeah, you got a good car. You got a couple more races left, and all the best of luck to you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Easy, man.
Thank you.
See you around.
Yeah.
And I'd like to thank DJ and Trey for giving us a couple of minutes of their time for the Wide World of Motorsports. Now, back to what I think about this.
From my standpoint, during that, in going back to the interview we had with Trayton, and he was kind of anticipating that, so it did look like he was getting ready for it. And from what I saw, it looked like he may have gave him some room there, and I felt like he passed him. He kind of left the door. I'm not saying he left the door open. I'm not going to say he did it, but he did it. No, but
he said he
got
did.
by
he
him.
He
He
saw it coming. I think DJ just came from a little far back. I mean, what do I know? I'm not a race car driver.
Yeah,
you're racing for the win, a championship. Any driver. I'm not down on DJ for doing it because I think anybody's going to do that. But I felt really bad for Drayton. I thought that we were going to watch him get his first win in the Pinty series right there because he drove such a good race. Started on pole. You could see in the interview he talked about just kind of riding it out. There's a lot of laps to go. I'm just going to ride it out, not push it. You could see that. You could see him just taking it easy on the equipment. There's no need to burn off tires and burn off the car, wait. And unfortunately, he didn't get the win, but I'm sure he's going to get it at some point soon.
Yeah, just to think that Trayton, with how good he's ran, that he hasn't got a win. And especially this past weekend where he proved that he could get a win, and it looked like he was a couple of times.
Yeah,
and him just being as young as he is, and now that he's full time, he's got a good race team behind him. He's applied himself very well for a rookie. Yeah, for a guy fresh on the block here, and
and he did good at CTMP. Race 1, he finished in third. I mean, he shouldn't do that. He's not a road racer. His background isn't road racing. He's an oval guy. So to see him do so well there, he's a well-rounded driver. And he won in the APC race on Saturday. We'll talk about that. But so he can win at that track. And he was quite dominant in 2 of the 3 races this weekend. It's a great series, man. The racing was good. The first race was awesome to watch. They race hard. These guys race really, really hard with each other, and generally there seems to be quite a bit of respect amongst the drivers. And it's great. It's such a fun series to watch.
Oh, well, yeah, all the series this past weekend were awesome. After the race, Alex Tagliani, he stuck through with his issues during the race, and he was only just 5 points ahead of him, and LP was able to close the gap on Tag throughout the weekend, continuing on. That was until Sunday. These guys are loading out. We're walking around on the track, and we're hearing, DJ talking to the drivers. We're hearing Trey talking to the drivers. Everyone's talking to each other, and just kind of getting the vibe of things. Trucks are loading up. They're heading out.
Yeah.
It's like see ya. Like, it's like, wow.
Yep.
Like, so, and it's like, okay, all right. So, and then we go into, then it's like on Saturday is a whole different show with the NASCAR stuff and the APC stuff.
It was really, really good. It was hard battling, good racing. Trayton led most of the race and ended up winning the race, which was great to see because a little redemption for what had happened earlier. Those cars are fun to watch there, and it was a good sized field. And then Brandon Watson finished, I forget where he finished, but he ended up winning the championship to close it out there. What a weekend. I wish I could have been there because I would have been there for every race this weekend. I'll have to really try hard for next year.
It was all there at Delaware this past weekend. And there was even a concert to kick it all off on Thursday. There's some people there already for a few days. So, yeah, it was going into Sunday, wrapping things up, with DJ Kennington. The question was he going to go back to back at Delaware Speedway? It was a demo derby. I don't remember hearing, like, Welcome to the Jungle by, I wish we were able to put that on here. It was Welcome to the Jungle, like if it was like Vietnam, it was like Fortunate Son, like it was like Nam in there, man. It was great. If people like that was money's worth. Like if people didn't get their money's worth at that point, then you can go.
Well, it's crazy that they ran like that with another race. Friday they ran hard and there was some bumping and banging. A few cars got tore up, but they left and they had a day to get everything back together. Yeah. Well, now they come back and race like this, and they have another race
for a back-to-back.
Yeah, back-to-back in a couple hours.
Header,
so I guess I guess they wanted to practice welding or whatever. And
oh man, pit road was busy in between races, but the one guy that probably didn't have damage on his car, this guy who won the race, DJ Kennington, being able to get back-to-back, picking up his the second victory of the weekend, obviously, with Sunday afternoons. Quick 125. The first race on the Sunday, it ended up started spitting out.
Really?
The clouds were not looking good, so it was that was in question. There was a storm for sure, a brewing, potentially, but it was more on the track. Towards the end of the race, we were able to see a battle between DJ Kennington, Brandon Watson, and Andrew Ranger. Race went into NASCAR overtime. There was lots of cautions throughout the race. For DJ Kennington to race through, because he's had practice with the APC series, and he's been able to race at Delaware and get some time in, some track time in. DJ Kennington, obviously showing that he's, one of the veterans in this series, and to be able to hold off a local guy like Brandon Watson. But and again, though, another question was with laps.
Hi, this is Alex Agnani, NASCAR Pinty Series driver. You're tuned in from the track to the community on Wide World of Motorsports, the number one motorsport show
going
in the
after
community.
That APC race. It was looking good for him. It was a good comeback for him. Things were looking good for the number 20. And then, unfortunately, for the 22 racing, a spin where I believe there was a car that got into Caden and cut his right rear down. He ended up spinning around into his teammate Alex Tagliani, who's already, I believe he was already a lap down at that point. The race was already not looking good for Tags. And then at that point, it was like, okay, like is LP's got to stay out of crap. Is he going to be the guy that takes this? But yeah, so Tags, not a very good finish for that race either.
No. Yeah, it's real unfortunate.
Yeah, that definitely didn't help things for Tag. I think either way, he was running not good, and he did end up trooping through that race. The car looked like a freaking zombie. Yeah, they ended up having to cut off the front of his car, and he came back out.
Yeah, it was missing the whole front end.
The question was if he was going to go to a backup, and sucks to see that for Tag. And that put him down 7 points to LP going into the last race.
It really sucks to see his championship go that way, right? You want to see them battle hard to the end of the championship, and to see a driver lose, just things not going his way in that sense, that kind of sucks. And I'm sure he's pretty bummed out about that. Be so close and almost dominate the championship, but next year.
Well, I gotta shout out Fitzpatrick. Gotta shout out Fitz. He had a pretty damn good running too this weekend, and there's a couple points too where he ended up getting up into the top mix on the first race on Sunday. Yeah, shout out to Fitz too for getting up there and for that last minute sub and showing up some of these full timers. You know, he was up there and it was looking questionable at that point if DJ was going to be able to get that back to back. Just with Ranger gaining ground, Trey was ending even gaining more ground as JF and DJ were battling with each other at a couple points. So there's a lot of good battles on the track this last Sunday, and there was a couple of incidents though that came about, notable drivers that were involved with unfortunate incidents that put a damper into some of their points race, like Fellows and Lacroix take a spin together on lap 73, and that gave him some damage. And the question was if they ended up taking off the backup car. They did a good job, the 74 team, being able to get the car, a brand new car off the hauler. And then again, Brandon Watson, he was off to another good start too. He was up there in the mix. Also, another wreck, Shea Gemmell and Mac. What happened? What happened there? Wow.
Reports around the track was that Marc-Antoine Cameron was a little upset at Shea Gemmell. They were racing hard. Mac was down low. Shea was up high. They made contact.
I think when you're going into turn one, like you gotta cut down. I think it was just a racing deal. People asked what they said after that race, and apparently they couldn't get anything direct. So, a lot of people were wondering what the deal was, but what we saw was Shea get out of the car, obviously upset. He threw something at the number 22. And he even went down into the infield and wanted to go to their pit box, but the official was saying, "Hey man, you got to go to the ambulance."
Okay, Dale Jr.
Not sure what happened there. After that, there was some things that happened. We do know that there was an issue with Shea, but it turns out everything is okay. But what I did see, and what I can tell you, is the 22 guys and the Ed Hackinson Racing guys were going at it. Ed was in there, apparently throwing punches, and there was also some ladies mixed in with the fight. It was an all-out Royal Rumble. It was a battle royal in pit road post-race. And I couldn't believe what I saw, that one of the team members of Ed Hackinson took out a jack stand and was bashing the number 22's hood. They had some extra damage that they had to repair that. And then Marc-Antoine Cameron, he went into the gas a little bit, and he almost ran over a couple of guys. We don't know what happened really in the mind of him, but we do know that he would not be starting the next race after that, as well as Shea. Yeah. Didn't look good. Not a lot of people were happy. The series directors and officials had to make a decision, and they made a good call, I think. No BS for that last race.
Yeah, I think they didn't really have much of a choice, right?
No.
So good on them.
No.
That's a hard decision. I'm glad I didn't have to make that decision.
No. And there was also apparently someone else ejected from the race, a crew member, so that was going into the fall brawl, which it's like people got the fall brawl a little early. It seems like the starting order for the last race was set by the fastest laps in the first race on Sunday. So Trayton Lapsovich, Brandon Watson were starting off the field for that one. LP 7 points ahead. He had to make sure he finished 7th or better during that race. going into that final race, Tag he had to drive a zombie car just to hope that maybe something would happen. And it's hard to hope bad luck on somebody, Michael Wallace, but yeah, I'm sure there was some sort of in Tag's mind going, hey, I need something to happen here. That's what it came down to. LP he was going for his third chip here, and he just needed to bring it home in one piece. It was off to cautions right from the beginning, like 2 laps in. And on the restart, that was they didn't even get a chance to make it around, I don't think. So on the restart on lap 6, it was down to Trey, DJ, and Fitz battling for the lead. And, again, bringing those guys back in. But Lacroix and Ranger, these guys coming through the field, there was at a point where Trey and DJ got into it a little bit. And there was a good chunk of green flag racing. It was good to see that. And there was another point where, Trey, he was leading the race. He looked like he had that race won. And he got screwed on lap 128 due to a spun car. And he went down into the racing line or something like that, and
he backed it into another car. He backed it into a spun out car. We saw this. Unfortunately, the TV cameras didn't get a really good. They kind of caught it as it was happening, and it seems to me that the 2 cars were spun out on the track, and Trayton had no idea they were there.
Right.
Maybe a spotter didn't let him know. Maybe he just didn't see it. And he spun and he backed right into the other car. Well, I guess NASCAR's rule is that if you spin in that way under caution, that wherever you get rolling is where you're supposed to line up. He didn't get to get back into the lead, and that's why he kind of got shuffled back.
That was the 74, he was able to get by that, and due to the positioning on that caution, Trey, he had bad luck again with it was a pretty damn hard hit there on the.
Was a really hard hit. The
end of pit road there. It was good to see he was all right.
If that pit wall was, 10 foot shorter, he would have been fine. He would have missed it.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was that he had contact with, but it just seemed that
the number 92. And
Dexter Stacy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess him and Dexter just kind of had a little coming together going
I believe it was 92.
They just had a little coming together. The one way it kind of looked like Dexter had come down, the one camera shot, but the other camera shot kind of seemed that it looked like Trey kind of came up on him a little bit, and they had some side-to-side contact. Now, so I think I don't think there was any malicious intent on that. I think it was a racing incident, but it was weird because it just kind of shot Trey to the left. It's almost right where they hit or how they hit. It just shot him off. It was
they just made some. It looked like it was a racing deal. It didn't look like it was anything intentional. They just bounced off each other, and that was just the way he hit, and he had such a roller coaster of a weekend. I say it Christopher Walken style. Oh, he had such a roller coaster of a weekend. It's he did. He started off he looked like he was going to get it on Friday. Gets a little heated issue with DJ. Wins the race Saturday. It's oh man, all I got to do is just close it out tomorrow. Looked like he was going to do it, and there's some other names that came up there, man. We saw Kevin Lacroix come up there. We saw Ranger come up there.
Yeah.
We saw Pete Shepard III come up through there. LP was being able to stay through, and DJ actually he had a spin earlier on in the race. He was able to race through the field through lap traffic. He did a good job getting up through there. So. You would think the second race would have the battle, the real, the wrecks, would have been the first race on Sunday, but it ended up being the other way around. I think there was some points where we we saw some cars spaced out eventually during the final race, and we saw some green flag racing and just some cars just run around. Tag just holding on. I don't know how he met minimum speed but it looked like he was barely running it. Like he was just holding on. Nick nursing it around the track. Yeah, he was, you know what though, and I don't want to take this as something I came up with, but that's a sign of a champion. Adam Ross said it on the broadcast. You can quote Adam, absolutely.
That's a sign of a champion, and he's right. He could have just parked it, and the outcome would have been the same. He would have lost the championship. No. Yeah,
he could have Kyle Bushed it, but he didn't.
Because you never know what's going to happen, and he
still ended up fourth in
and
points.
The crew. Yeah, keep going. They kept fighting, and that was great to see.
And that's totally really cool. From the tag that I've spoke to. That's tag. That's him. So makes sense. That. But Dumoulin going for his third championship, and he's at 42. He's the third driver to win 3 championships in the series. So that's something notable, and he's tied with Andrew Ranger for the most titles for active drivers. But at the end though, it just the restart. There is because of the tray wreck, they had to red it, and on the restart there, they want to make sure there's a few laps to go, and Kevin had a great restart before the last, and then he had a decent restart there, but Andrew he just had enough to be able to race them hard. And hey, you know what? They had a textbook good battle. It was good to watch in the stands. It was good to watch on TV. It was probably good to watch in the infield everywhere. It was a good show. And Andrew Ranger for Rick Ware Racing, their second NASCAR win, coming up through the field to be able to win. He had 3 top 5s this past weekend. And Andrew Ranger had a great weekend.
He did, actually. Yeah, I was really impressed. It's funny to see Rick Ware Racing get their first wins in Canada.
Hell yeah!
But that's awesome. I'm happy to see them do that.
Absolutely.
Excuse me. A little frog in my throat
he just hit puberty, folks.
Yeah, it happens to all of us in Canada.
Eventually,
it just
it's a little late up here.
Later.
Yeah. It was an all-around good race, and as it stands, unofficially the 2021 NASCAR Pinty's Series final point standings: LP Dumoulin with 389 points, Andrew Ranger down by 8, DJ down by 11, Alex Tagliani down by 18, Trade Lapsevich down by 30, and
what position?
He was in 5th in the standings.
That's pretty good for a rookie. That's a great rookie season. 5th place. He's got, is he the only rookie this year?
There's a couple of others.
He must have gotten rookie of the year. He must have gotten rookie of the year. He'll get rookie of the year.
I know Sam Fellows was also another rookie. There's a couple others. I should know this. We will report that down the road, though. We'll have that.
Do you know who would know this?
Cam. Harris of Stickers and Scuffs.
Cam would know this.
I'm going to tell him that's what he should change his name to. But yeah, so that was a good race. Good way to end off the season. We'll obviously have more on that, but all in all, it was great for us to be out. It's been a couple of years since we've been to a race. It was good to be back talking to some drivers, and hopefully we'll be able to get LP back on the show as well as Andrew back on the show and talk to them about their weekend here on our future episodes. So we did not get a word with them for the races today, but we will get them on. We'll talk to them.
They were lovely.
We're gonna have a sit down. We're gonna meet. We have a sit down. We're gonna have a little talk.
Hot.
But yeah, and so I get home, I see the end of the Cup race, and I'm like, I'm so glad I went to Delaware Speedway and the awesome racing I saw there.
Why? What was wrong with Mr.
I saw Hamlin won
once
again, winning on the beginning of the first round.
Did you know that he's never won there before? That was his first win there. I did not know that.
Vegas.
Chase, I thought Chase was going to catch him. You know, I feel like coming to the white flag, if Chase would have ran that high line and followed Hamlin, I think he would have caught him. But because he didn't want to follow him and Hamlin went high, Chase went low, Hamlin had that run down the front stretch to the start finish line. I really think if Chase would have ran high, I mean, Chase should send Cody Ware a freaking thank you card, even a happy Festivus card, something, because he slowed him up a hell of a ton, and I'm really surprised Chase didn't catch him.
Yeah, Chase, he could have put on a show for the fans. He was. I was excited. I was like, go Chase, but he didn't have it.
How do you think Tyler Reddick and them feel being knocked out of the playoffs and then having quite a good race? And Kurt Busch too.
Oh, that happened? Yeah. I don't even know.
Yeah, they had a really good. Yeah, Tyler and Kurt both finished in the top 10. So I mean, it's just kind of like,
Well, you know what though? Did it rain or something in Vegas?
I don't know.
Because there's like no one in the stands. I don't know.
I think that has more to do with racetrack than weather.
The Xfinity race was good, you said, though.
I'm
with Josh Berry. I mean, that was a good.
Yeah, I was watching the APC race. Yeah, I was. Yeah, of course, because I love Josh Berry. I was watching the APC race, so I didn't watch the Xfinity race. But then I watched the highlights, and it seemed pretty good. Yeah, it was Junior Motorsports got a 1, 2, 3, and Josh Berry filling in for Michael Annette. I guess I'm not sure what happened to Annette. Did he get injured or COVID? Anyways, they decided to replace him with Josh Berry, and wow, not surprised Josh Berry wins at Martinsville. Kind of surprised that Josh Berry wins at Las Vegas.
It's going to be the rest of the playoffs for all the series. Actually, it's still exciting. Even the trucks. I wish I had more to say about it.
The truck. Yeah. I didn't watch anything for the trucks, unfortunately, so I have no idea how that stuff went on for them. But we had IndyCar this weekend as well, and a new champion crowned there with Alex Palou finishing second. Did he win the race? But winning the championship for Chip Ganassi. So that's really big news in the final race of the season. So, and then we had Whelen Engineering Cadillac win at Long Beach as well yesterday. So there was a lot of racing this weekend, a lot of Canadian racing, and a lot going on down.
I'm raced out. I'm all raced out. I think I need to find something else to do now. Yeah, I know, right? It'll be like tomorrow. I'm probably going to do iRacing right after this. So that's what I'm doing. But and you know what? It's actually that time of the show anyway where we wrap it up. So we're going to have more on the Pinties in the next couple of shows. Obviously, I just got back from the trenches, so this is all I can tell you. So. Is what I've seen. I've seen some things. I've done some things too, man. Y'all know where to get us. The Wide World of Motorsports podcast.wordpress.com. You can find us on your preferred streaming service, the Wide World of Motorsports podcast. Hey, we're also on YouTube with our Wide World of Motorsports esports team, all the iRacing stuff we do, and as well as all of our past and future episodes of the podcast. And on Facebook Watch, just say, hey, Siri Alexa, pull up the Wide World of Motorsports TV on my smart device. Oh, giddy up. Well, that's it. That's it for me. That's it for Wallace over here. We'll see you down the bend, folks. That's what I mean to say. God damn it. You're not going to say anything? You're not going to do... You wanted to say...
Hi, this is Alex Tagliani, NASCAR Pinty Series driver. You're tuned in from the track to the community on Wide World of Motorsports, the #1 motorsport show in the community.